Places like the Great Dividing Range, a lot of people think that they're just sort of out in the bush, but really they connect all of us. They're right here on our doorstep. You could say the Great Dividing Range provides life to this half of Australia. My part of the Great Dividing Range is the Illawarra Plateau. It connects through to what people call the Blue Mountains.
Right underneath my feet is the largest store of the artesian water in Australia. It supports a very unique ecological system. This part of the Great Dividing Range is called the Galilee Basin.
People come up here as a tourist destination because they're wanting to get out of the hustle and bustle of the city. When I first breathed in the air of the forest, I just thought, oh my God, that's what it's like to breathe. My part of the Great Dividing Range is the Central Highlands. This area could be called the cradle of life. These incredible tall trees that can be 140 metres high. When they mature, 150, 200 years as a mature tree, they start generating their own water. We need these trees to keep drawing that water out of the atmosphere and bringing the water to us.
Very close to where I'm standing is the Melaleuca Spring, is where I've discovered the 400-strong flock of black-throated finches. That population represents the best chance of the survival of the southern black-throated finches. Probably a lot of the people in the world don't really know what a black-throated finch is, but to me, it's not just a really beautiful bird that I'm holding, but also it connects me with nature and with Australia. I want you to understand the connection between the black-throated finch and the world that we're living in.
The escarpment behind my house is like the lip of the Sydney Basin. All the water that's captured there runs back towards Sydney itself and provides water for all of the Sydney area. It was also located very close to a coal mine. Things that concerns me about the mine is that its lease extends well underneath the Cataract Reservoir. And I'm very concerned that any cracking or subsidence could substantially damage the ability of the reservoir to hold water. I don't think people in Sydney truly realise what the impact is.
When we look at the Great Dividing Range and its fabric of life, then we shouldn't be putting holes in it. We are currently destroying these forests. We're currently destroying the habitat of the leadbeater's possum. Once they bring down the trees, they take the trunk that's worthwhile and they'll go to pulp mills.
Apart from the awesome wildlife we have around Melaleuca Spring, we recently also have this giant mining company, and they're proposing to build one of the largest mines in the Southern Hemisphere. The habitat that finches rely on is right in the center of the mining site. Once the black-throated finch is gone, and it's gone, in some sense, this little finch that I'm holding in my hand can be like a starting point of a much greater environmental impact, not just within central Queensland, but also throughout the Great Barrier Reef and all the way to wherever the coal is going to be shipped to. Doesn't mean that we can't use natural resources, but we cannot just simply take resources from nature just for our own benefit by destroying the lives of other animals that also share the same resources as we are. I came all the way from China. I always had dreams about, touching a koala, looking at wallabies jumping around and platypus swimming in the creeks. Now knowing the Australian government is destroying the uniqueness of the Australian ecosystem, that just really sort of made me feel like so discouraged. But I wanted to do something right now because I'm in the country now and I want to fight for it.
These forests here are our children's future and we need to protect that. So the Knitting Nanas of Toolangi knot was formed. We would fold out our chairs, put down our thermoses of tea, and we began to knit to show that we were doing this out of love and care for our environment.
One of the things I've noticed is that a lot of people who haven't been environmentalists seem really concerned about what is the environment going to look like. Is their water going to be clean? Are the children going to be able to see bushland that's pristine? And those things, I think, matter more to people than we realise. Our little group of local concerned residents have already brought about changes. So I think that if people band together and keep chipping away at it, that you can really make significant change.
I think the biggest message is that we need to be united together to make the government know this is the life we want. Knowing Peter and Dion are also working in different ways, that makes me feel hopeful that we can work together to protect the Great Dividing Range and also change the way we live with nature.